Don't be flattered by the attention of, a handsome, successful young man. Test him, check him out. Check out the product. If it's a 30-day money back guarantee, check that product out, because if you need to return it, return it. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is LolaAjisafe here. We are reviewing Ready to Love. It's episode 10. We're going towards the finale, and yeah, I'm not impressed. Are you impressed? Anyway, let's talk about it. So first of all, housekeeping rules. Please don't forget to like the video. I appreciate all the likes. I appreciate all the watches. I appreciate everyone's support. Thank you so much. I would want to say, more importantly, as equivalent is you guys dropping your comments, your words. So don't forget to tell me what you think about what I've said, what your opinion is. It's always nice to kind of interact with everyone in the comments. And last of all, if you haven't subscribed, anyone stop shacking up with me, please don't forget to hit the subscribe button. All right, let's go. So we said episode 10, we'd kind of been left on, I won't call it a cliffhanger, because you and I both agree that we've kind of, we're done. The two people who called out Tori Paul, like low-key, I was like, surprise us with a double elimination. Let's wrap this up. That's how I feel like. Let's wrap this up and let's keep this going. So anyway, not surprisingly, we know Tori's going because he don't have nobody. Paul don't have nobody either, but Tori even less. The only person he kept his eye on was Sabrina. And even when he was sulking, he didn't really focus properly on anybody else while he was sulking. So he didn't really do anything else to try and make her jealous. I don't know. So anyway, so Tori's gone home. I will give him this. One of the compliments I will give him, I don't know if I ever give him any compliments in the past, is that his exit was graceful. He left, he gave, Sabrina asked him for a hug, which was like, okay girl, you just sent him home, why you want a hug? But anyway, he gave her a hug and it seemed like an authentic hug. He hugged her and lifted her up, and I was like, okay, there's all hope is not lost yet, which means that when you leave this experience, maybe you have something to offer. And sometimes, a lot of the time, when the camera's panned on you, it's not possible for them to give us a true 3D dimensional in-depth view of who you are as a person. So you might not just be I'll hit your kidneys kind of person. You might have other qualities too. I'm sure you do. I'm being facetious here, but still, that just like that kidney stuff just kind of knocked it out for me. That was it. Like you were done with those comments, and you said it more than once. Once you did that, and then you stole the kiss from Precious. I'm sorry, Tori. After that, like I was just looking at you like, and you didn't do anything else to redeem yourself. So now we have Paul. Paul's behind. So I think it's 4-4. Isn't it? It's like, yeah, it's so let's just go do a quick recap. So we have Sabrina, we have Carmen, we have Joy, we have Dakia, we have Tina, like in the middle of, we don't know, in the middle of something. Then the guys, we have Paul, we have Donovan, we have Demetrius, and we have Clifton. So 4 guys and 5 women. I don't like that number, but we know Tina, like she's just here, or she's here, we don't know what's going on. So after this elimination, they get back in the house, everybody's kind of taking a woo-sa kind of breath, and then we see Demetrius and Sabrina having a conversation, holding hands. Now initially I'd kind of said that Donovan, I felt, was on the top of her leaderboard, but that questionable, like, yeah, he just got divorced, he 3 months out of a divorce, fresh out of a divorce. Like if I'm looking for a relationship that would like to end in marriage, is this going to be it, or is this just going to be an extended rebound relationship or TV relationship? I'm feeling the way Sabrina is playing the game. Like she's being intentional. She's been very clear. She's not just trying to settle, oh, this feels good for the moment. No, she's trying to look further on down the line at, yo, let's go on. So her conversation with Demetrius now, they're talking about him being more affectionate, showing more love. He's still kind of playing it cool. And I think that's when she said something to the effect, I don't know if it was there, where she said, instead of playing it cool all the time, like I'd really like to see you, be more affectionate, show more, more interest, other than expressing your verbal interest, articulating it. I want to see it more in your actions. And I have to agree, it's one thing to say all the right words and say all the right things, but it's another thing to show up physically and do those things that you said you would do. And she mentioned, like I said, I'm really feeling the way Sabrina's thinking. Now, she also said something about how the two of them are used to being the ones chased. That let's put that down and let's actually, actively invest in each other. I focus on you, you focus on me, kind of thing. And I like that. And he's still kind of looking like dazed, and then in his confessions talking about, well, she's still, you know, on the fence, she's still trying to decide between two people, so he's not going to give his all, and da da da. I'm like, sir, like, being affectionate, showing your interest, really showing what you have to offer is not 100%. Like, you say you won't give 100% to someone commits to you. Nobody's telling you to give 100%, but give something. Like, what do you want her to commit to? She doesn't really know who you are or how you can be. And she said the same thing. She says, you know what, like, you want me to make a decision about how you will be in the future but I need to make a decision now. Show me who you can be now. No, I'm not going to make a decision based on who I think you could be or who you say you are when I haven't seen that person yet. Then all of a sudden you'll be like, well, this is me. No, this is, I'm 10 toes down for this stance. What you're not going to do is make these promises. Like, if this doesn't come second nature to you right now, if you can't just hold my hand, talk to me, be that person now. Who's to say you're going to be that person later just because you say you would be? If you don't do it naturally, then it doesn't come natural to you. I'm sorry. You can say then after I say yes, then you're going to struggle and try to be that one. Nobody have time or the bandwidth for struggle love. Like, struggle love is so like it's done. The struggle, like, particularly at the beginning, like, there's, yeah, if you're not giving her like basics, because nobody's saying, she's not saying give me a ring, she's not saying this, she's not discussing all of these things. She's simply saying, show me more of who you are, who I'm going to be in a relationship with. Let me see that. And you're talking about, yeah, like, you can't give 100% yet. Like, if that's not something that comes naturally, if she has to ask for it, maybe you don't have it to give. And then maybe it's in her interest not to make a decision based on what you say you're going to do when you haven't done it. Because these things should be a given. It's like, it should be a flow. Honestly, in my opinion, it should be a flow. I know people are different, but there should be a certain flow. Like, people will say, you know when you know. Like, if there's no you know when you know right now, you're not flowing with it, then I'm with her. Like I'm ready to bounce at this point. In the meantime, you know, Donovan is feeling, you know, left out, deserted, you know, is feeling neglected, so he's turning to Carmen. And Carmen's turning it up, they're in this hot tub and they're doing sexy time. Okay, so you know, long and short, the A to Z of this, the Clifton notes to what we saw in the tub scene here is that, you know, Carmen's gaining ground because Donovan is feeling the fact that Sabrina's looking him side-eye, and his second person that he was interested in, Tina, is MIA. So once again, it looked like these folks are just trying to end up with somebody before the curtain draws, trying to end up with somebody before the music ends. And this is the disadvantage of it being a competition or a game show. Because really, like, your second thought, your runner-up prize, your consolation prize, your backup plan, your rebound is never really what you want. It's just there to be there for the moment. So if that's what Carmen wants to be, then by all means, come and knock yourself out. But that's what it looked like to us. And then, of course, they also showed Dakia. Dakia is sitting on the couch. Clifton passes by. They decide to finally have this conversation. I think they're 2 days in now, and finally, you know, she's let him know that I can see the connection between you and Joy is strong, but I just wish you had spoken with me. Okay, let's just have. So we're having the, you know, when someone said, I want to have closure. And I guess I've always kind of said, like, you know, bump closure, like, yo, just shut the door, keep it moving. And I don't know if that did something for her. Because what they discussed, they already knew. He was not telling her anything new. The only benefit, because he was on, I love the fact that he was honest. It's like, yeah, you know, my connection kind of took over and I just kind of got swept away, you know. Okay, she already know this. So I'm just trying to see the benefit of closure. What she was hoping that he might say some different, change his mind. I don't know. So this is how I see closure as, like, it's there. So you've had the conversation, but even without that conversation, you knew what you knew and he knew what he knew. But I guess for the benefit of the camera, maybe a producer set up that scene so you guys could have closure for us. We've been done. Like, we knew this up front. Like, we were just looking at you, Dakia, when you'd catch up because we like you. We like you, Dakia. So, you know, it ends up with the cutesy hug at the end. Was cute, you know. But still, that kind of tapped into, so it means that she still had some hope. So maybe a closure conversation is to kill that remaining hope. But I don't know why there was hope to begin with, because they just had such a connection from day one. Like, unless, you know, Joy came out and killed someone, or you know, Clifton came out and killed someone, like, there was nothing was gonna destroy that connection. I'm sorry, Dakia. But, you know, she gets a closure, sheds a couple tears, you know, she's there, and it is, you know, farewell, namaste, is done. Like, so what next, Dakia? Are you going to make a graceful exit? Are you going to do this thing with Paul? Because all right, so we have another hot tub scene. I guess producers like the hot tub scene. They think we want to see a lot of skin. I'm a girl, so I don't know. Maybe the guys want to see skin. I don't care. But anyway, hot tub scene coupled up. Demetrius and Sabrina, and then of course Joy and Clifton. They look real cozy, cozied up together. We know definite couple. Demetrius and Sabrina. Looks like Sabrina is working harder on Demetrius because she almost feels sure. So she's working harder to draw out affection from Demetrius, or to see if he's capable of that. And I just want to say right now, and I know I've just said it maybe 5 minutes ago, is that this is exactly what we should do as women. Sabrina, thank you. Woman, this is what you should do. Don't be flattered by the attention of, a handsome, successful young man. Test him. Check him out. Check out the product. If it's a 30-day money back guarantee, check that product out, because if you need to return it, return it. That's what she's doing. She's checking out the product. Like, yo, this is it. This is words in action. She is doing exactly what we as women should do. This is what men do all the time. They're constantly testing us until the final stage. But us, we just get this sweet hello and a hug, and we're just like, no. Times have changed. We getting taken for granted. People get to take us for a ride. People taking us to the bank and emptying our accounts. No, we don't. It's not that romance stuff. Is not up front. You can have a little bit and a little bit, but what Sabrina's doing is exactly what she's doing. She's got her thinking cap on. She's using her number 6. Test check the product. Don't just say, oh, it got to my address. It's mine. It's not yours. Because what you don't want to do is be stuck with it and you can't get your money back. Then all of a sudden you're trying to change it, but it wasn't created for that purpose, so you can't change it, and then you're frustrated and I'm frustrated and everyone's frustrated. So I can't repeat myself enough to say what Sabrina is doing is exactly what we need to do. If anything at all, if this season is giving us anything at all, it's giving us this. Do not be flattered by the attention of a nice young man. Make sure he works for you. Because a nice young man who is not for you will not be such a nice young man in a couple days or a couple weeks or a couple months, and heaven forbid you wasted a couple years. So bless you, Sabrina. She's checking him out just to see, can this brother be affectionate? Can he be that person for me? She is intentional. This is what intentional looks like. Because yes, by all accounts and purposes, she definitely had the attention of, the nice men in the panel, the nice brothers. Not to say the others weren't nice, but definitely all her guys were, apart from Tori. All the guys were good on the eyes, yeah, but also seem to have something going on behind the scenes as well. But that's not enough. Does what they have, does that work for me? And that's what she's doing. So then, and then even when Joy was trying to push her to do this, do that, she's like, nah, I'm taking my time. I don't know what to do. Like, bravo. Like, what you're not going to do is make me do what I'm not ready to do. I'm not done with my process yet. Love it. Joy, she was not as fortunate as you to make that immediate connection and get what she needed. And I think you understand that. I hope you understand that. Anyway, that was the purpose for this scene for me. Like, she's like, let me see. Let me check this out. And it's not working. Of note, I don't know what the scene meant. I don't know if it meant anything. I don't know if the producers were just trying to get us all like, As they're all putting the lights out, what do we see? We see, Donovan, and it looked like Carmen, climbing into a bunk bed. I don't know what that meant. I don't know what it meant. I don't know what it meant, and I don't know what it meant. But I just want y'all to see that. Like, how that little meme that we used to have a year ago, like, be like Bill. Like this, be like that. Don't be like Carmen. I'm just saying, don't do that. Like, you're not even like, nah, don't do that. I mean, do what you want to do, but don't do that. All right, morning comes, creeps up, and who shows up? Tina's here. I don't know what Tina wants. I'm not sure, like, she seems to be of two minds. I think for of two minds like that, you're not interested. So who in the production team is forcing her to show up when she doesn't want to be there? Like, she needs to make a decision and say, I'm done. She needs to make a decision and give, if it's nephew Tommy, or give a producer a call and say, I'm done, because you are done. you know, you showed up but nobody's home. You showed up and like I don't know, like the $50 a day they're giving you all on set is not enough for you to rattle your cage and make you do what you don't feel like doing. Like, you drove up from wherever it was, how long ever that drive was, 2 days later to do what? You say you want to talk to Donovan to say what? You couldn't even say what you wanted to say. So I'm not sure why, you know, Tina's here. I have no beef with Tina. Clearly, I like Tina. I was liking the way she was playing initially, but something happened, something transpired, and she's done. And she's no longer interested. So anyway, anyway, that's what I'm saying. It's no longer like she's interested anyway. So she has a conversation. You know, Paul sees her. He's like, you know, like I don't know, like he's done. Like, she was already done with you, sir. Like, she was done with you 2 episodes ago. So I don't know what you've done about, like, she's not checking for you. In fact, the only person she wanted to speak to was Donovan, which means that's the only person she had some mild interest in. That's the only person she felt she needed to do closure with, so to say. Anyway, they don't have a great conversation, so that's done. And then producers sent, I'm saying, I didn't see the producers, I'm just telling you what I think producers sent out Karma don't care about her like that, to try and see if she could get some tea so they could give it to, you know, put something on record to explain what they know, an eventual absence, which is what it looked like. That's what's going to happen. Like, somebody clutching their chest, then you want to prepare for a heart attack, right? Like, you're not just going to watch them collapse before you prepare. They're clutching their chest. You're like, you got the aspirin, can you get the pads, can you get, you know, the code card? Like, you want to do all that quickly, like get them on into you want to do this in 1 minute. So they're preparing for her eventual absence. That's what it looked like to me. So the producers send out, you know, Carmen, because maybe Carmen's the only one who agreed to go, to see if they could get some more tea to tidy up her storyline. That's what it looked like. I don't know if they got anything. She said they got something about it. Confirmed, like, she not the only person she had some kind of summon for was Donovan. Had a conversation, didn't really fly. So she's here, and I guess eventually in a few minutes after that, then they all leave. So I'm really not sure why, you know, they made Tina come, and why Tina even if they wanted to make her, Tina should have just told us, yeah, guys, I'm done. She should have sent us a note, like an email or something. They could just put on the screen with some soft music. Like, she just looked forced, like she came there but nobody's home. Right, everyone's back from the getaway place, getaway home, summer home, wherever they're back from. Sure, they're back from the house, and so Dakia and Paul get together for dinner. This is another forced date. I'm sorry, I shouldn't say forced date. This is another let's try and soup up our backup plan. I don't see chemistry. Do you all see chemistry? Please drop down in the comments right now if you see chemistry. I see nothing. I see a dud. Like, no, you can't hear it. I want you to hear it. I see like lead drop. I'm sorry for the sound, but yeah, I want to emphasize what I see. A dud. So yeah, so they get talking. Paul is, you know, really toasting hard. And when I say toasting, that's me, like giving her the lines, like she's this, she's a queen. He's saying all these nice things, but from where I'm sitting, all these nice things with no real connection. It just looks like you're trying too hard. That's what I'm looking for. All these nice phrases and words you love to hear from somebody. So let me give you this example. These are the things she wish Clifton would say to her. It would have her swoon. So yeah, so the words he's using, the words that are coming out of his mouth, she'd rather have that come from Clifton. That's not the case right now. So it just seems really flat. I'm sorry, it just seems forced. Like you're trying too hard. Like you're trying to, you know, like, yeah, just like somebody gave him lines to say and he's saying them. Like, your PO, like, you are not delivering right now, and the reason why you're not delivering is there's nothing wrong with the lines you're using, but you're not interested in her like that, and she's not interested in you like that. You're just trying to end up with somebody when the music ends. And he says something about how he overlooked her, or she's a lovely lady, but he thinks he overlooked her because she was guarded. My G, like, she was more open than you from jump. You're the one who's been guarded and maybe just opening up now, so that's not the reason. Like, you're not just not into her that. You're not into her like that. You don't like you like that. You don't like her like that. Simple. It's really simple, but you can't say that because for some reason y'all just want to end up with somebody when the music ends, and that's not the premise of the show. I'm sorry. Like, you guys need to hold hands and self-eliminate. But maybe I might be wrong. Maybe there's something there. I don't know, but it's going to take more than 2 episodes to have something. You guys don't have it. You weren't interested in each other initially. I told this meeting, you know, rebound convention. I don't know, like nothing good has ever come out of a rebound situation. This is a rebound situation. Or a backup situation. Like, you guys, this is my backup to my backup. Anyway, hopefully I won't have to talk about this again. All right, we see, you know, Clifton meet up with Joy. They already tell us what we know. You definitely can see we know they have a connection. Whoop to whoop, whoop. I'm like, there's nothing here, nothing to see, folks. We know they're together. They have a nice dinner, and that's it. I think they have a little cutesy peck or something in the conversation, and they confess that it's more than like, and they can't really put it into words, and they're just, you know, just okay. You all have a great connection. Good. All right. Let me keep this moving to the next scene because I have nothing to give you of use here. Just to confirm that we know that they have a connection. Yeah, I think the only thing he brought up the Dakia conversation, and this is what her attitude is. What I like, what I think the other people should do, what I think Carmen should be doing is, your concern is you and that person, not what that person, particularly in this, maybe in real life it's different, but in this scenario where that's the whole premise of the show, you worrying about what blah 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 is doing with blah blah blah, really shouldn't be your. Don't worry about it. If it's yours, it's yours, and if it's not, it's not. Like, you asking questions about it won't change the situation. It just is what it is. So I love that's Joy's approach. She wasn't phased. She's like, I'm good. So that I think that's the take home point for that scene. Like, don't be worrying about somebody else. Worry about you and your connection with that person. And is that person checking the boxes that you require? Are there any red flags? You know, yellow flags? Like, pay attention. You'll be so focused on what that person's doing with somebody else that you're not focused on what you should be doing, the investigative work you should be doing with that person. I don't mean like be a PI or, you know, BMI 16 or something, but you definitely want to make sure that person will work for you once the camera stops rolling. Now, y'all, this is when things got kind of interesting. So we get, you know, it's the end of week meeting here. Promise it's meant to be a brunch. You know, it starts off with, you know, as they're all coming together. I wouldn't say right as they were coming, Sabrina mentioned something about like she like on on the outs with both her connections. Like, ooh, what happened? Do tell. Like, you seem to be cool with Demetrius and okay with Donovan, but something happened. So anyway, you know, nephew Tommy gets talking, has everyone recap. We know Joy and Clifton. Let's not take time with that. Then next thing, I think they recap that Tina showed up at the last minute. We already know that. And then we start with Paul. So Paul starts talking. I know Paul, like, I'm talking about you. Like in the beginning, Paul, first in the beginning, I was hoping that we would see more of who we thought Paul was, because I thought there was something there. And then Paul started clowning. I wasn't amused. But just a little glimmer of like, all right, Paul. I see you, bruh. So right here, this is I see you, bruh. I might just be saying I see you, bruh, because he's agreeing with me. I don't know. But anyway, so here it is. So he Paul starts breaking down his connection. So he brings up Dakia, he brings up Carmen. He says, you know, he said Carmen's not intentional. I'm like, snap. Like, she don't mean what she said and say what she mean. That she's always inquiring about him and other people, and that she should be more concerned. Like, he literally watched my prior episodes and decided to say to her, you know, I'm joking, this was pre-recorded many months ago, but we're literally on the same team at this moment in time. We are saying the same thing on the same team. We're sharing the same mind just on this thought. And the thought process here is like, if I'm with you, I'm with you. Don't worry about who I'm, you know, what I did with blah blah blah, what I did with blah blah blah. It's me and you. I see you. Let's focus on each other. Is this a go or is it a no? Like, don't worry about if I had coffee with, you know, Bloomberg or somebody. And he feels the same way, and you'll see that constantly with everyone she meets with. She's always asking about the other person, the person seeing. Sis, like, it's exhausting. For me, looking at you do that, it's exhausting. You're worrying about the things that don't concern you. Are you trying to gather data to figure out how you can manipulate the situation, or just set your mind at ease. Do I work with this person or not? Period. End of story. And so Paul expressing that, like, that's not your concern. Let's see if we have something. And so that's what he said he didn't like about her. And like, so he's like, next. I'm like, immediately Carmen hears that. Oh, she hot. You don't piss off a cat. She brought her claws out and she hasn't been declawed, and she goes in, and this is how she goes in, because he had said something nice about Dakia, like Dakia was a lady, she was a queen, she was a vid, that they're just, no, he didn't lie, he just said they're just trying to get to know each other, but he thinks that she's an amazing woman, and all the nice things he had to say about her. Pretty much a recap of what he said their prior dates. So Carmen, like, she had claws out, she messy, and so she talked about, Paul had told her about, Dakia, and that he had said that, there's a certain kind of woman is attracted to, and so she's now leaving, implying that he's saying that he's not attracted to Dakia, implying that he's saying that he's not aroused by Dakia. All these implications. First of all, in my mind, I'm like, yo, did they have a fight behind the scenes that we weren't privy to, that the cameras didn't catch? Because this is like, stuff is unraveling like like, what? And then Paul is looking at like, what? Like, Paul is looking at like, I didn't say that. And what's beautiful about it is, this is what I think. I think if there was element of truth to it, right? The only reason why she's revealing it now is more or less to, or even if it's, I don't know if it's true. I can't say it's true or it's not. Or she's simply twisting the conversation they had, because we know from jump, for some reason, she's never liked Dakia. This is not new. Like, whether you're a Dakia fan, whether you're a Carmen fan, it's not news that Carmen has had a disdain for Dakia from jump, right from Eric, I think, or maybe even before Eric, because she came after Dakia. So I don't know what the fuss is about. But anyway, we know this is not new. She's always had something nasty to say about Dakia. Clearly, you can see nephew Tommy is uncomfortable with what's the word we should use? He's uncomfortable with disagreement. I'm not saying everyone should be comfortable with it anyway, but he's not trying to dissect the truth out or guide the conversation. He just wants to stop the conversation, like that's the solution, as opposed to guide the conversation, which is why we say that it's best to have a therapist in the wings, because then that somebody would guide them to the end of the convo. Because you stopping a conversation doesn't mean that that's the end of the convo. It means that you've just left it to be, it won't be a verbal conversation, but it'd be like, people speak more with their actions and their body language than their words anyway. But then the words are more for us as the audience to have a conclusion as to tie up the storyline. So that's another issue, and that was something that he did last season as well, where he, like, when it came particularly with women, when it becomes with misunderstanding with the woman, he's very uncomfortable with misunderstandings with women. So literally he just wants to cut it and nip it in the bud and kill it. But that doesn't kill the dissent that's underneath, the contempt that's underneath. It doesn't get rid of it. It will just continue to fester. But for him, that's the only way he deals with it. So nephew Tommy's like, stop it, everyone stop, take a cooler, take it. Nah, my G, like, guide the conversation. Why'd you say that? And and that might have given him and us some insight. It might have really helped the storyline. Or maybe producers in his ear, because we know he wears the earpiece, were telling him to kill it, dead it. Maybe they don't want us to know something, or they just didn't want it to skew what they wanted to set up as a narrative. I don't know. So it could have been in his way, or where the producers are like, no, don't let them go there with it. So anyway, they guide him to tell him to turn to Dakia, and all Dakia says is like, I don't believe her. To me, she's been a liar from jump, that. And I'm happy that she knows that the lady doesn't like it, because a lot of the stuff she said has never been to Dakia's face, but it's always been in the confessional. So I'm happy that she knows that this lady, she shouldn't trust this lady. And she says something really I thought was cool, nice ending, like, that sex doesn't always have to be on display, and classy never goes out of style, which is true. Like, Donovan looking at that, like, he's like, yeah, bruh, if you don't have second thoughts about your Carmen, then bruh, like, anyway, you're in a different space. You're 3 months out of a divorce. You're just really dead. You really should just be ready to play. Like, you're trying to have a break. So do whatever works for you. Anyway, so that's what happened there. So it's like, yeah, I see you. Like, so Carmen's put it up, because instead of her to attack Paul, she's attacking the Kia. I mean, it's really just in an effort. So she's trying to use the Kia as a missile to attack Paul's character. But the problem is, Carmen, is like you said so much in the confession about this lady that it's really hard to take your word as gospel, because your intents have never looked pure. You've always been a little, nasty, like that nice, nasty kind of attitude. And so we're just looking at you like, it could be true, it may not be true, but that probably wasn't. If you were really for your sister, who is the Kia, like you could have attacked Paul's character a different way without pulling down or destroying another sister or trying to make another sister feel small. So we come to Sabrina, we know what's going on, but apparently since the getaway house, they've had conversations behind the scenes or off camera that have now resulted in her having like some tension between both gentlemen. So she starts off with Donovan's lighthearted, they have a lot in common, they're both from California, but the fact that she said his relationship situation, and I believe what she means is that he's 3 months out of a divorce, and so he's not likely to be ready for, it's not impossible, but the odds of him likely to be ready for a fully committed relationship leading into marriage. I remember he had said in the past that maybe he would consider another kid. All these things go into consideration because she wants to get married and have children, not wait for a man to think about getting married again because he's just been through that and he just it doesn't make sense. And then also consider if he wants to have children. She's thinking right. Demetrius, same different story, same kind of situation, in that for him, he's not really showing who he is. So is she going to trust his word and say he's going to be different just because he say he's special and he's not like the other guy, so he doesn't give his 100% until the person's fully committed to him? 100% does not mean that, or rather, if you're giving somebody 60%, that does not mean that you preclude or remove any form of affection or showing who you really are. You definitely could close out the bedroom, you could close out funds, there's certain things you don't have to do, but they have to still know who you are. You not showing who you are, playing Mr. Cool, does not mean that that's because you don't give 100%, it's not time yet. So what is she meant to base her decision on? Your word? Like, I'm just like exasperated by the whole thing. Like, I'm mad with her. Like, who do you think you are? I just feel like Sabrina's spitting facts right now. For me right now, Sabrina playing like the MVP. I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, but this situation right here is enough for us to use as a really great example, like I've said, minutes ago. Sabrina's acting right now like she got choices. She's not thirsty. Like, ladies, don't be thirsty. You can be hungry from time to time. It's summertime now, so maybe you don't even want to be hungry because you know what they say about, summer buds are made in the winter time. So you can be thirsty, you can be hungry from time to time, but please don't be thirsty. And this lady is showing us that she's not thirsty. She's not thirsty at all. She understands she has options. So if you guys are not it, then you're not it. It's like no harm, no foul. I'm with her 100%. I'm with you, Sabrina. At least on this. I don't know what's gonna happen next week, what you're gonna do, what's gonna say, but yeah, I'm with her. That's exactly how it needs to be played. Donovan really upset, like his face is hard. And he said something about, she said that in their conversation, which he said the reason why he's mad with her is because she said that he would go home like the last one. She says no, that's not what he said. She said that when she was talking with him, he had said that he could be the next one to go. No, he said he could be the next one to go home, or who or he could be. They were talking about the person who could go home, and said, yeah, it's true, it could be you. That's what she said. So those are two different things. So did he hear that in anger and make a misinterpretation? Did she say that? It doesn't sound like it doesn't make sense that she'll say something like that, because the truth is she does like him, but she just doesn't want to involve herself in the situation she sees at hand. So it's hard to say, like, did he misrepresent her words on purpose, or did he do that by mistake because he was feeling some kind of way anyway, because she's not immediately jumping on him because he's probably used to people responding to him a certain way, like, oh, hi, oh really, you're interested? Like, I remember I met someone, real side story, a long time ago, used to work for Gap. Hey, and one of the guys who worked there was always surrounded by the ladies and everyone was always hot for him, and we were just cool. And one day he's like, Lola, you don't respond to me like the other girls respond to me. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, yeah, you gay? Oh really? I'm gay just because I'm not fawning over you? Same thing. I feel like Donovan is used to people fawning over him, and so the fact that Sabrina's taking a second, she's taking a pause to really consider and think through things clearly, like, he's thrown off by it. So that might have been the reason as to why he's making a misinterpretation. I don't know, we're just supposing here, but let's see how this plays out. But right now, like I said, MVP Sabrina all day. Like, we should start voting MVP after every episode. And for this episode, Sabrina's the MVP. Okay, That's gonna be the thumbnail. Sabrina's the MVP. All right. So last but not the least, you know, they decided they want to close up this end with Tina. So nephew Tommy said he gonna meet up with Tina, see what's happening, see if they can figure out what's going on, where she is in the process. Fair enough. And immediately I see him like just strolling down the boardwalk or wherever that was near the waterfront, like by himself with a coffee. They don't usually do them like, oh, she didn't show up. So they try to give us some, you know, some B-roll to let us know that she didn't show up. Tina didn't show up. Now, Tina, that's wrong. What you could have done was called him or texted. Maybe she did, and it's all part of the storyline. I don't know, Tina. I haven't watched your interview yet. I know you did an interview with someone. I need to go watch it. But yeah, like, sis didn't show up. But yeah, like, look, we were there at the end of the episode already. Whatever happens, happens. At this end, right at the end, our recap is, you know, Clifton and Joy have a connection. Everybody else is not. Like, there's no connection. That's the truth. How Sabrina's playing her game is on point, and there's nothing else. I have nothing else to say. Carmen. I hope Carmen doesn't, you know, catch up with you. I hope maybe it's just, you know, editing that's making you look this way, because I would hate a sister to really behave like that, particularly at this age, because there's a certain amount of wisdom that we expect. Not being cunning. Not being as cunning as a fox, but just wisdom and understanding that we're all in this together. But the fact that you feel like it's you against another woman because of a man is exasperating and a little tiring, a little exhausting, a little played out. Like, that's why they're playing us against each other. This is the time where women, we need to band together, you know? And here I am to celebrate this. Ketanji Brown Jackson is she's now in the Supreme Court. That's a win for us all. And that's how I want you to be thinking, Carmen. Like, let's be looking at wins, another woman's win, as a win for us all. Because it now elevates the general, lifts us all up. It really does. So that's how I want you to be thinking. So I'm hoping that there's going to be something in there that's going to click. And maybe this was some misrepresentation. I hope so, for your sake. Anyway, we reached the end of the episode. We know next week's something about Meet the Family. Let's see how that goes, guys. Thank you. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Lola, over and out.